Good morning, happy hour crafters. We are going to do something a little different today, and we are going to alter a book, and it's going to be our Halloween spell book. So I picked up a book from the dollar store and brought it home. I took the paper cover off, and we are going to alter the outside of it. Now let me show you the supplies that we're going to need. Okay, obviously we need the book. I'm going to use some Mod Podge, and I have some paper rope that I have purchased. This I got from Michaels. And then I picked up some acrylic paint from Target. So this is coal. I have a light copper. I have a charcoal color, and I also have a dark bronze. Now I may not use all the colors. I'm definitely black, but maybe one of these copper or the bronze color I may use. So I put some Mod Podge in a little dish. I'm going to use a sponge. I'm going to use a small paintbrush. And I'm also going to use a couple pieces of paper towel. Now the paper towel I'm actually pulling apart. It's a 2-ply, so I only want one. And so I'm going to peel that away. You probably only need 2 of them. And then I'm also going to be using a glue gun. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing we want to do is let's open the book. We're going to take a little bit of the Mod Podge, and we're just going to paint it on the outside. There we go. This is just going to help the paper towel stick to it. We'll do one side for now, and then we'll move over to the other side. And get the spine of the book. All right. Now, I think I'm going to just kind of tear this in half. I'm going to set it on there, and then generously you're going to add more Mod Podge. And get it into that spine there. And what you're trying to do is you're going to create these wrinkles in with the paper towel. There we go. And then we'll trim the edges when we're done. All right. I don't want it to pull too much in the spine there. Now let's get the other side. There we go. Now let's get another piece of the paper towel, and we will just rip that in half. I'm not doing very well there, the ripping. Alright, I'm going to go right here. And see, I kind of missed a little spot there. So I'll just rip another one. And we'll just set it in. There we go. Not perfect, but that's what we're looking for. Oops. There we go. Yep. All right, we're going to let that dry. Actually, I want to put a little piece right there. There we go. You can kind of see there's wrinkles, and that's what we're looking for. Get the edges here. Make sure you have all the edges nice and wet. All right. We're going to let this dry, and then we will come back. We'll trim the edges, and then we will start some painting. Okay, now that the glue has dried, we are going to cut these edges off. And it just feels, the book just feels so cool right now. All right, there we go. A lot of these edges that kind of pick up like this, we'll catch those when we start painting everything. So I am going to take a marker, and this is just going to help me with the hot glue gun. I'm actually going to write right here, spell book. And so what I do is I will practice the spacing. All right, see, and I'm okay with that. So I'm going to do it on here. And yes, it's going to be a little rough. But we know spell books aren't perfect. There we go. Okay. And that's just going to help me when I take the glue gun and actually spell that out. So my glue gun is hot. And I'm just going to follow the letters. Well, almost. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Go. There we go. All right, we are going to let that dry, And then we are going to get out our paint and our brush. This one's still a little wet, so we'll dry it off. Put my scissors away. I can start from the back. We're just going to paint the book black. What'll happen is the paint is going to start bringing out that texture that you created with the paper towel. It's very cool looking. And get all little crevices, the corners. Work on the spine. Yep. And I didn't give myself enough black paint, so I'm pouring just a little bit more. Not much. And we're going right over the words. Can you see the texture that it's bringing out? It's very cool. And then that is why I grabbed the copper color, is that I'm going to come back and just kind of touch in some areas to give it a little bit of a highlight, maybe a little bit around the words. And I'm just going back and catching all the things I missed. The crevices, edges. Alright, we are going to let that dry. Alright, I think I got it all. Alright, I'll be back after that dries. Okay, now that the paint has dried, I'm going to take it's a dark bronze acrylic paint, and I have just a little bit of water here, and I have a paper towel that I'm going to get a little bit damp, and that's just in case I put too much bronze in one area. I don't want to overdo it. So what I do is I shake this, take the cap off, and that's usually more than enough paint right inside the cap with a little bit of bubble. Alright, And then you are just going to just lightly, in a couple spots, just give it some highlights. We're going to do that on the words. Dab this off a little bit. And hopefully you can see this. Let's turn a light on or two. There we go. That's better. See how it just kind of brings out just a little bit of the texture. So now if you take this, on the side that doesn't have the paint on it, and you can just kind of rub it out just a little bit, so it's not so sharp. Nope. There we go. Put around. Need more over here. Now if you get it in an area where you think it's too much, you can always go back with the black paint and just kind of go over it. Lighten it up. All right, I think I'm leaving it just like that. Now I can close this back up. I am going to let that dry. Then I'm going to come back, I'm going to close the book and use a little bit of the leftover black paint, and I'm going to paint the edges of the paper. I don't plan on opening this book. I am going to wrap it with this, it's called paper rope, and it's just going to be sitting on the coffee table. I don't plan on having it opened at all. So we'll be back after this dries. Okay, now that the bronze paint has dried, I'm going to take what paint I had left, the black paint, and I added just a little bit of water. And we're going to, not too wet, we're going to paint the pages. And the water, what it's going to do is kind of help, and it's going to kind of warp the pages just a little bit. There we go. Let's see, this is not too messy of a project. Very simple, as long as you let it dry in between. we're going to let that dry, and then we will come and just finish up. Okay, now that the book is dry, we are going to grab this rope. And I have about 80 inches, so it's about 6.5 feet, maybe almost 7 feet. And I'm going to put it about halfway through the book and bring it to the spine. And then I'm going to bring it up and I'm going to twist right here. Bring it around. And then I'm going to do the same with this side. Bring it around. I'm just kind of creating an X right there. And bring this around. Look at that, got a knot in there. Don't want that knot there. There we go. And then this down. And then I'm going to have the meat right here at the edge, and that's where I will create a knot. Alright, which one am I pulling here? Wrong one. I think what I'm going to do is I will cut this one off. There we go. And just create my knot. This hanging down. There we go. Now I know if you've watched a lot of YouTubers, they will put, like maybe glue a spider or even create a spider web with the hot glue. There are so many things that you can do. I tend to like it just a little more simple, but I'm actually very happy with this. This is just going to sit on my table, my coffee table. So there you go, just something different. I enjoyed making it and I thought I'd share with you. So there you go. Cheers.